Hi guys, this time it's not going to be a review. I just want to talk about the big controversy that about why a lot of critics hate Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. Um, I I do understand the reasons, but first of all, I want you to know that I'm a big fan of the movie. Actually, in my review, which I only done in Bahasa Malaysia, my native language here, I I show my support for the movie. I do enjoy the movie for what it was, and I give it a really high marks. But as you all know by now, there are a lot of critics were really going against this movie, and I kind of understand why that happens. So I just want to talk about it, and because I don't want people to say I'm a fanboy, but I don't understand movies and stuff like that. I was being unbalanced and stuff like that. I do have to admit I'm a superhero fan, and I'm a bit of bias with DC Comics. I have to admit that openly. But if it's a bad movie, I would say it's a bad movie. And although I say Batman versus Superman is fantastic to me, I love it, but I'm not saying it's perfect. There's a difference. It's not a perfect movie, but I do enjoy it for what it was. Okay, let's jump straight. Why the movie is getting so many negative reviews, negative feedback from critics? The first main reason is, and I think so true, is the trailers. The trailer really spoiled the movie. The trailer was a lot of the things that shown there shouldn't have been shown, should have been kept as a surprise, so that when the actual movie comes out, then people could actually appreciate it more. I'm talking about the appearance of Doomsday and the appearance of Wonder Woman, the appearance of a lot of characters that were showed in the trailer really spoiled the movie. It really stole the fans, the audience, and there's no surprises in the movie. If you go into the cinema, you know what's going to happen. So there you get the first reason why I think the movie didn't hit for a lot of people. Second reason, and I do believe this is the general consensus. The second reason why I think the movie got a lot of flack is it is so dark. It is super serious. It is so dark in tone, so serious. It is so serious that it made the jokes that were sprinkled near the end. There were some jokes, some in the middle. It made the jokes feels out of place. That's how how dark tonally this movie is. So when you see something light, you become it's so awkwardly put in. And I myself have to agree with the critics when when this movie is too dark, too serious to be for a superhero movie. It shouldn't have this tone. I mean, for Batman versus when Christopher Nolan did Batman, the tone was dark, and yeah, I mean, it was dark tonally for Batman. I think it's fine because Batman is dark. His character is dark. The movie have something that the Christopher Nolan movie, the Batman movie, have characters that are interesting, that compensates for the dark. You get the Joker, you get Alfred, you get um, the scientist that created all the gadgets. Can't remember his name right now, but played by Morgan Freeman. So you got a lot of interesting characters to lighten up the mood. Here, there's none of that. There's none of that. So I can get why the dark tone is not suited for Superman. Superman is a light character, and I think that the critics is just against the too much of it, too much the dark tone for Superman character. for a Superman movie, and then carries over from Man of Steel. The same criticism is Superman is shown as a bit too dark, too serious, not enough light and stuff like that. And it brings me to the third point. I think the third point why a lot of critics go against this movie because it's not fun, and there's no levity. There's not a lot of fun things in this movie. You can have a serious movie. You go and look at Scorsese movies, made by Scorsese. His movies are dark, are seriously dark, but it's apt. It connects to the style. It connects to the mood of the story. It connects to the characters. But a lot of people generally, for a superhero comics, for a superhero movie with superhero characters and characters, especially Superman, who is a light character, unlike Batman. He's a very light character. He's a very positive character. For them, for DC and the Warner Brothers to put these characters in a very dark and down movie, not a lot of happy things happen here. It brings down the mood, the perceived kind of expectations. For myself, I don't have any problem because I love the dark tone. I love the cinematography. I mentioned it. I love the dark tone of Zack Snyder approach, and I do love that. And I love that, but I do understand that there's not a lot of joy to have with this movie, nothing fun to have with this movie, to a point that I have friends who they buy the toys for the Batman versus Superman. They don't even play with it because their kids don't even play with it. First, your kids can't watch this movie. It's too dark. Nothing fun happens here. Nothing fun for the kids to play around with because the movie has that serious, dark tone, and that really hurts the movie. And I think the critics really go up against that because it's joyless. The word that I heard is joyless. There's not a lot of fun in this movie. There's not a lot of levity. So those are the reasons that I think generally why people go against the mood. There's a lot of other weaknesses, and that I want to point out because I gave the movie high rating. I love this movie, but I do admit there is a lot of things that were cut out, that were badly edited. I don't know, but as it is, there were a lot of weaknesses in terms of storyline. For example, the Senator storyline, which I think was unnecessary in terms of character development. She showed up a few times. She's not that important to the storyline in the movie. Trying to regulate Superman and stuff like that, but it all went to the basket case once she died. Spoiler. But her character, even if you take her out, that doesn't affect the storyline, the flow. So what's her point of being in this movie? I think that's one of the things that I really thought. They put so much emphasis between her and Lex conversations and stuff like that about regulating Superman. The debating the need for Superman, but in the end, those arguments that were raised up were not touched anymore once she died. And for me, the movie can save itself by just taking her out and not put in that movie. Another weakness that I spot that I can still remember is like Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg as an actor is great. The guy who played Lex Luthor in this movie is great. I do understand why a lot of people doesn't like him because Lex Luthor is such an iconic character. So they made him in this movie a bit of a wimpy, weirdo, psycho. So that I don't know. I love it. I love him. I enjoy his time, but it does get a bit annoying. So yeah, that's just one point. As like I said, there's a lot. minor things that a lot of people pick up on. And for me, oh yeah, another major thing that I believe that the movie hurt the movie was Superman montage. If you see the trailer, if you see the movie, but the trailer showed all of them, that they show Superman rescuing 5 kids and rescuing people in Mexico, rescuing people during a flood, rescuing a spaceship that was exploded, and rescuing the astronauts, stuff like that. But they were done as a montage. Why? Which I think those montages, those scenes deserve their own movie, you know, instead of just being montage of what Superman did good. I think it would be a better movie if Batman vs Superman is divided into 2 movies. The first movie showed the continuation of Man of Steel. I mean, like what he did, he rescued people flooding, rescue people exploding space, what do you call that, the rocket exploded and he saved the astronaut, and then rescuing kids on fire. Make that as Man of Steel 2, make that as a movie where Superman showed the good side of his character, I think, instead of montage. So there's a lot of montage here which I think deserve its own movie and deserve its own arc to show that Batman did good instead of just showing montages. Another bad thing about the movie that I think the movie should have taken away, should be taken out, is a lot of dream sequence, which I think a lot of criticism is, what's the purpose of the dream sequence? I know there are some have meaning, but when you have the first dream sequence started early in the movie where young Bruce Wayne just floating to the sky, it really takes you out. And there's a few dream sequence that really doesn't make any sense, where he walks into a grave and then a bat came out of the wall and then bite him. I mean, that's why I say that deserves another movie on its own. Because if you take them out, take those dream sequence out of the movie, it really doesn't change a lot of things. So I do think that too many dream scenes that were unnecessary, and you know, that really hurt the movie for a lot of people. But like I said, I want to repeat that thing, that I love this movie. I love it because it's dark, tonally dark. I wanted to see this. It's the movie that I wanted to see, Batman vs Superman. I wanted to see Ben Affleck's Batman. I want to see the continuation of the Man of Steel story. I get all that. I got what I wanted to see, and I love that they killed Superman in the end. I love the appearance of Wonder Woman. I love the cinematography. I love the soundtrack, stuff like that. So that's my point. But I do want to make this video because I do understand there is some of the bad things about this movie that the critics latch on, which I'm okay with, and I just want to raise up so that I don't want people to say I'm not being fair. I'm blind to the weaknesses. I'm not. I do see them, but I do love the movie for what it is. I know this too dark and too tonally for a lot of people, and it shouldn't be for a Superman movie. But for me, it suited me. It suited my mood fine, because I do accept the dark side of the tone of this movie early on. So I really enjoy that. Yeah. So this has been a long review for Saturday. So I want this to come out before we move on to other films, and just to say that, yeah, this is the reasons why a lot of people hate Batman vs Superman. So I just wanted to put it online and have this discussion, and to say that I'm okay. I love this movie, but I do admit there's a lot of weaknesses. The reason that those weaknesses didn't bring me down, because I enjoyed despite the weaknesses of this movie. So that is my long-winded discussion with you guys. So Hopefully you enjoyed. Leave in the comments what you think about it, what you want to discuss, and then subscribe to this video. Thank you guys for watching, and then have a good day. Bye guys.